Peak Wealth Management proudly presents the Trust the Plan podcast with Nick Hopwood and Jim Pilat, where we believe by providing education and guidance, we can help you retire with peak confidence. Now, here are your certified financial planners, Nick and Jim.
Welcome everyone to episode 213 of the Trust the Plan podcast. I'm Nick.
And I'm Jim.
And Jim, we've got a special new logo behind us. It's our 10-year logo. So Peak Wealth Management was founded June 1 of 2014. So here we are in 24.
Yeah.
With a 10-year celebration.
It's exciting.
I can tell you're excited.
I'm thrilled. 10 years is a good milestone.
Yeah, and I want to thank Ashley for the wonderful new logo that she developed.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's looking great. So we're going to have kind of a 10-year theme going on here for the whole year, whether you like it or not. So be ready. All right, so let's talk about what we are here to discuss today, which is the post-retirement valley. We talk about, retirement income and, after the last paycheck and Social Security and required minimum distributions and Roth IRAs and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I found this from Mark. I think his name is Cicchini. Thank you, Mark. He put together this nice graphic simply illustrating what we're talking about when we're talking about the opportunity to be in the 12% withdrawal rate for IRAs or Roth
Mm-hmm.
conversions or, getting free Obamacare, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
So ultimately, this period of time right here is where we would love to have a great big bank account or a large joint investment account, so we don't have to rely on IRAs,
Mm-hmm.
to live. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And also, if you have that kind of a portfolio, you can then delay Social Security even beyond 67, like
Right.
it shows here.
Yeah, it's really a stretch that presents a lot of opportunity, and that's the goal of it is with all this opportunity available, how could you maximize it? What are the things you can do to set yourself apart and take advantage of this stretch of time where the paycheck stops and maybe before Social Security ramps up, or we have to start, forcing money out through RMD withdrawals and things like that.
All right, so let's just imagine for a second that we worked at Ford and we signed up for the 401k in 1980 and we maxed out,
Mm-hmm.
right? Did all the everything that the guy who was retiring at the time told me to do, and he said, boy, I wish I would have done this. And so I did it, right? And 40 years later, here we are, and I'm ready to retire.
Yeah.
Okay. The problem is, if I did that, all of my money is in my 401, and I'm going to roll it over into an IRA, and it's all pre-tax. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good problem to have. Let's face it. But is it optimal, right?
Right.
And so if we are working, and then we go right into ultimately what this is showing is IRA withdrawals, RMDs, it means that we're going to be paying quite a lot of tax forever, because every withdrawal that we make, we're going to be paying tax.
Mm-hmm.
And it means that more of the Social Security is going to be taxable. It means that we're not going to be eligible for any health insurance subsidies.
Mm-hmm.
It means that we're probably going to be in the 22% bracket forever,
least, yeah.
instead of the 12% bracket.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So there's a few, maybe 3 or 4 negatives that we didn't know about in 1980.
Right.
Yeah. And that's unfortunate.
Right. The tax rates is always the great unknown, right? But if we know now there's an opportunity to be maybe in the 12% bracket instead of the 22 or 24% bracket, that's kind of fitting into that opportunity zone, right? Where we can say, okay, well, we're in the 12%. What can we do? How can we be efficient with this and maximize this lower bracket amount?
Absolutely. And so, what we didn't know in 1980, we can ask that same question right now. What will 20, 40 years from now look like that we don't know today? We don't know what the tax rates are going to be. We don't know what Social Security will look like or Medicare.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of these decisions are based on those, okay?
Right.
But it just reinforces the point. We want to have flexibility when it comes to our taxation and retirement and our withdrawals.
Mm-hmm.
So we've been preaching Roth.
Yep.
Right? In some circles, I think Jim is known as Mr. Roth. Like he's that big on it.
Yeah.
Okay. HSAs,
Mm-hmm.
joint brokerage account. Okay. and of course the traditional pre-tax 401k. If you have all of those, right, that three-legged stool, so to speak, tax-free, after-tax, pre-tax, I think whatever happens with policy and everything, what we're talking about, we'll have the ability to navigate.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's a good way to look at it, is maintaining that flexibility, right? We don't know what the policy is going to be. We don't know what the tax rates are going to be, but we know if we have money in each of these different kinds of buckets, there's some sort of opportunity that we can use to maximize it at that time.
Yeah, and it could be opposite of what we're talking about today, right? But as it stands today, okay, if we want to make it through this post-retirement valley, the best way is to have, like I said, a bank account balance you can fall back on, or a brokerage account you can fall back on. Then you can manage your taxes, keep yourself in the 12% bracket. You can make IRA withdrawals to live on in the 12%, or you could do big conversions in the 12%. And all the while, you're delaying your Social Security. That's going to be worth more and more. And then you're reducing the RMDs in the future. So there's so many positives that come with planning for this post-retirement valley. Rather than just maxing out my 401 pre-tax and just knowing that I'm headed in the right direction. Let's try and optimize.
Yeah, I mean, really, that's the key, optimizing, and making the most of those opportunities.
Well, I think that'll do it for us today here. So at Peak Wealth Management, we believe by providing education and guidance, we can inspire you to make great financial decisions, like setting up a post-retirement valley fund. And if you'd like to learn more, visit us at peakwm.com. You can set up your second opinion at peakwm.com.
Peak Wealth Management thanks you for watching and listening to the Trust the Plan podcast, featuring certified financial planners Nick Hopwood and Jim Pilat. If you enjoyed our program, please subscribe and share. If you'd like to learn more about our services, please visit peakwm.com. peakwm.com today. See you next week.